guys, welcome back to the Sal Pitera channel, and today we have a really cool treat for you. We are on board the magnificent Carnival Sunshine, and today the master of the ship, Captain Lorenzo Calogero, did I say that right, Captain?
Yeah, let's say.
has graciously given us some of his time to interview him and answer some questions that I know you guys ask me. So first, Captain, thank you so much for allowing us the time to meet with you in your beautiful office here. I imagine we're near the bridge somewhere, right?
Yeah, the bridge is just close to the door.
Just right around the corner. Yeah. This is a really unique treat, and we really appreciate you allowing us. So let's start with, how do you correctly pronounce your name? Because I'm sure I butchered it.
It's Lorenzo Calogero.
Lorenzo Calogero.
Yes.
I got it right, even after we talked about it before I started with the video. So I'm going to put on my glasses because this print is really small. So let's start with a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I'm from Messina, which is a city that is in the Sicily. It's south part of Italy. It's an island. So I actually grew up by the sea.
And how old are you?
I'm 43.
43. That's pretty young for a captain, no?
Yeah, but I was young as well when I started. I started when I was 19.
19, so that's pretty early. What was like your first job on the cruise ship?
Yes. Oh no, I was on the cargo ship.
A cargo ship?
Yeah, I was a cadet.
A who?
Cadet, the cadet.
A cadet. And what does a cadet do?
It's just when you finish the school. So to becoming an officer, you have to do 5 years at school, nautical school. Then when you finish, you go on board as a cadet, which is the one that is just for learning. And the time, now is different rules, but the time we have to do 18 months as a cadet, and then you take your first license for second officer, third officer. And after 4 years at sea, then you get the master license. And I got my master license on 2000. So it's already many years I have a master license.
So it would probably be safe to say that you knew you were going to be a ship's captain early on in life.
Yes.
How old were you when you decided that being at sea was a life for you?
I was a kid because my father was captain.
Was he a captain on a cargo ship, cruise ship?
On the cargo ship.
On a cargo ship.
So since I born, every summer I was going with my mother on board to meet my father, and I stay 1 month, 1.5 months, almost every summer. So and then I started to love the sea, and I decided to follow his career.
So let's talk about that for a minute. So when you were a child, you knew you wanted to be on the sea. We have a lot of younger audience that watches our channel as well. So were you a good student when you were a child? Were you working towards?
Yeah, when I was a child, then so I started to like the sea, to like the job, which I start on the cargo ship. And then so at some point I had to decide which school to go, and I decided to go to the nautical school. Once I finished nautical school, that was on 1994. After a couple of months, then I started to sail.
What school did you go to?
The Nautical of Messina, Nautical School of Messina.
So they have a school right in Messina?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice and close to home.
Yes.
And how long have you been with Carnival?
17 years.
17 years. As a captain?
No.
17
years ago, I was...
I think it's safe to say you started as a dishwasher in the galley, though, right?
No, because, it's a different organization, the cargo ship and the passenger ship. On the cargo ship, you have only 22 person on board, 20 person. So the career is faster. So I was a second officer on the cargo ship. And then I was just for joke, I applied for Carnival. And they called me for the interview. I did the interview, but then I have, because I have already my master license when I came here. So I was second officer on the cargo ship, so I came here again as a third officer. So I was a watching leader already on the cargo ship. Then I came here as assistant, and I started the career again. I was 26 years old, so I started again the career. And then you have to do the third officer, the second officer, the first officer, safety officer, second in command, and then captain. It was really long. I did it in 17 years.
How long did it take you to become captain?
Yeah, now I have 1.5 year. So after 16.5 years, I was 16 years. I was a captain.
So what's better? I know this isn't in my question list, but what's better, captain or master of the ship? What do you prefer?
Master.
Master. Okay. I never knew that. I always thought it was captain.
Because you can have many captain. You have dance captain. You have many captain. But the master is the right word for the captain of the ship. Is a master. Like the movie Master Commander, no? He's a master.
Sure. So you're the boss over everything. Everybody listens to you no matter what.
Yes.
So if you don't like the food tomorrow, you can say, change the recipe if you want.
Not that. But the food is good, so I cannot complain.
The food on this ship, and I got to tell you, especially Guy's Burger, which everybody knows, but I found out yesterday that our captain likes sushi, and I got to tell you, the sushi restaurant on here, we've eaten there 6 times already. It is fantastic. So let's talk about the job of being master. What is the best part of the job for you?
The best part, the most grateful and exciting is the maneuvering of the ship, because it's the one that the master does, and they think that that you are also coaching the others, but you are the one that doing the maneuvering, and then you start to coaching the staff captain and all the officers, but you are really the one really that doing that and give suggestion. That is the most, and then also meeting the guests, know many people, because every cruise. So usually on the ship we have 3,500 guests turn around. The maximum is 3,000, it's 4,200, but we usually have 3,500, 3,400. So you meet many people every week, which is really exciting.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. As far as driving the ship, are you physically the one driving the ship, or you give corrections to a pilot who's actually driving it for you?
Okay, I am the one that approving, start from the beginning, approving the passage plan, which is from one port to another. There's a passage plan, I approve that. And I make that with the second officer, which is in charge for navigation. Then on the bridge we have always a watch, which is one watch leader, one assistant, and one lookout during the normal navigation, open sea, and we call green manning. Then before reaching the port, I go on the bridge, the staff captain go on the bridge, we increase the manning to red manning. And then actually the one on the wheel is the S-man. I give the order to him of the wheel. Then in some port, we have the pilot will take the con. During this turnaround, the ports where the pilot taking the con is Canaveral and Aruba and San Juan. So we approach the pilot station, we board the pilot, we give the con to the pilot, he conning the ship inside, but the final dock, I always do the final docking. The pilot will give the con to me. The responsibility is always mine, even if the pilot has the con. But then, when you approach the pier, the final mooring, turning the ship, going to the pier, I always do.
So let me ask you a question, because I've always been curious about this, and people have actually asked me this. Let's say you're going into port, and the pilot takes control of the ship. Does the pilot have full control of navigation during that time, or if you see that he's doing something wrong, can you take control back from him without him releasing it?
Yes, I can take over.
So you're in command really the entire time watching the ship?
Entire time.
Very cool. So let's talk about the other side. What's the worst part of your job?
The worst part, when you have more tension is when you are approaching, let's say, bad weather, or you know that in port is windy, because for us the wind is our enemy. So when you are reaching port, you know that the wind is more than the ship can hold, then the part of our job is really tough, because then you have to take a decision to go inside, to take tugs. That is the part that is more difficult at the moment. And this is also for the guests, because sometimes happen that we have a ship that is alongside in a port, and then we are approaching the same port. And during the day, there are different, the environment is changing. So mostly if you reach early morning, you don't have much wind. If you reach 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, the wind starts to gusting. Sometimes the guests, they see a ship alongside, and they see some ship that then is keeping the port. Every ship has a different power. So I know with my ship, because every ship has a different wind surface. So my ship is 10,000 square meter. I know that if the wind is blowing more than 30 knots, then it will be tough for me to go in, because the knots pushing with the wind surface with 33 knots is like 138 tons, which is the maximum power that I can hold with thrusters. And then I have to skip if I cannot. So most of the guests, they say, okay, we skipped the port, but one ship was inside. But maybe they come early with less wind, or they have more power than me. So just for the guests, if they listen, when we skip a port, is just for the safety of the ship.
I've actually seen that ourselves. Matter of fact, it was in I forget what port, but there was a port that we had missed, and there was a couple other ships inside, and we had wondered, why were those ships able to get in? So you answered a question I've
this is
actually
the
asked
reason,
for a long time. I imagine that's why the other ship that was in port today circled around a couple times because of the wind.
Yes, because of the wind, yeah.
Port. But they eventually made it in, I see.
Yeah.
So every job, especially Carnival, is a corporation. So every job has its duties that the corporation tells their employees, just like you, even though you're the head honcho here, that they have to do. So if you had to pick one thing that Carnival tells you that you have to do each week for your guests that you absolutely would wish they wouldn't make you do.
But the things that they tell me now to do, or
something
if
Carnival tells you that you have to do that you wish they wouldn't make you do.
No, actually not. I'm happy to do everything I do for the Carnival, like for the guests.
See, I always thought, and a crew member actually had said something to me on this particular voyage, I had always assumed that the captain's cocktail greeting was probably one part that the officers probably wish they wouldn't have to do every week.
Not for me.
No,
because 12 o'clock, because this is the first sea day. 12 o'clock, when I make an announcement, I remind them that I'm doing the Captain Toast. So I want them to come. So I'm happy if there is many guests there, because they see me, we take a picture, I can meet them in the beginning of the cruise, which is important.
Okay, so we talked about navigation. What other parts of your day are that have nothing to do with navigation in your daily routine that do you do besides just the navigation of the ship?
Many things.
Like what?
Yeah, because we start in the morning, my day, I take a coffee and I look at the weather condition. Then I have many meetings, because the operation of this ship is really, really huge. And the problems, the issue that we have to solve, they are a lot. And then I have a meeting with the hotel director, meeting with staff captain, meeting with the HR director, because here we have, is like a village. We have also 1,100 team members. So you can imagine it's always issue between, and there's many things to do. Many meetings, follow up, the maintenance, the safety of the ship, the safety appliance, firefighting appliance. I work together with staff captain and a safety officer to solve for the maintenance of the ship. So there are many things to do.
Okay, let's talk about, if you had to give advice to the people watching my videos today and people who dream of a life at sea, whether it be washing dishes or becoming a captain, what advice would you give them to direct them into making that career choice?
Depends on what they really wish to do. If you have to start this job, you must love the sea, because you will spend most of your life at sea. You will miss from home many things. I did 9 Christmas in a row on board. So you must be prepared. If you have someone at home, if all the celebration, you must be prepared that you there is probability that you miss that to stay at sea. So if you don't really love the sea, you cannot do this job.
So let's talk about working for Carnival in general. I know you said you haven't worked for any other lines other than Carnival, but I'm sure you have people working for you that you interact with who've worked for other cruise lines. Would you say that amongst people that have worked for other cruise lines, there's a benefit of working for Carnival as opposed to the other lines?
Yeah, every lines we have something positive, something negative, as I heard from my colleagues. I don't want to speak about salary, but since I'm with Carnival, so it's not always a matter of salary, matter of amount of work, because really the Carnival is very strict in many things. So we really follow the environmental, our procedures. There are a lot of procedures. They make sure that the captain is involved in everything. But the environment in the Carnival, for me, is really particular. Because since I'm with Carnival, I start to know people in the office. I start to work with them. There is kind of a relationship of respect with them when we see each other. So sometimes it's not about salary of amount of work, but it's about the relationship that you have with the company. So I don't think to leave or go somewhere else because they pay me more or there is less work. I don't think about it. I think that the teamwork that we have with Carnival is really amazing, and I will not leave for this reason because I have many friends in the office.
So let's get back to the onboard experience. We actually made a video earlier this week because I saw one passenger who something went wrong during their voyage, and it was something very minor, and they had went to guest services and they were just not so nice to the guest services people, which is why I made a video. If you saw my video earlier in the week, it was entitled "Be Nice to the Guest Services People."
Yes.
So I find that I cruise a lot, and I find that people do tend to get upset when they're on vacation for reasons that are beyond anybody's control. I tell my viewers that when you're going on a cruise, it's literally a floating sea. Expect that something's going to go not the way you plan during the course of the week, or you're going to meet a staff member that you just don't mesh with very well. And it's really the same as being on like a land-based vacation. If you go to Disney World for the week, you're going to meet somebody over the course of that
Yes.
week that just wasn't what you expected. So for that cruiser who's upset because they missed a port or they didn't care for the food so much, even though they probably went to McDonald's last week and thought that was fine, but what suggestions would you have for that person who comes on board and things just didn't go quite the way they expected?
To be honest with you, we have every cruise we have comments from the guests. They show up on the guest service for the small things. About skipping the port, we already mentioned. So they have to know that everything we do is for the safe of the ship, guest and crew. And then we have a very good system with the Carnival. So if some guest is reporting to the guest service, the follow-up is really fast. We have people working day and night to solve the issue in the cabins. But sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's like there's some guests, they are coming just to be honest with you, for complaining, to take a compensation. We do our best really for them. And they have to understand, because many times, if I have a chance, if there is some swell, and I have a chance to take another track, I do that. But when there is no chance, if we are going for Canaveral to Aruba, if there is a rough sea to Aruba, but I make sure that it's always safe. But if it's rough sea, there is no other way to go. So we will move, but sometimes we move just a little, and they say, "Oh, why, Captain? Why you are moving?" But we are not moving.
We're on an ocean,
we
right?
are not ashore. We are in the water, and really they should understand better and come here, relaxing, and living the positive things that we give to them.
All right, guys, so that is my interview with Captain Lorenzo Master Lorenzo. And the master of the ship has been gracious enough to offer us a tour of the bridge, which we'll bring to you in another video. But I wanted to say thank you very much. I'm sure my viewers will love this video, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Problem. And please, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, subscribe down below. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll be notified when we put up new videos like our bridge tour. See you next time.